back to the channel. The F900 is not immune to the F850 and the F800 headstem bolt coming loose issue. This bike's done just over 5,000 Ks, and the recent trip I just done, it definitely was loose. If you've got a clunk, or you can hear a clunk, or you can more feel it. If you've got a mechanical ear, you will hear it, but you should definitely feel it on sharp hits, corrugations, if it's loose enough on a decent hit on the tar, but definitely off-road you'll feel it. You could really feel the clunk, and you lost that precision in the front end. So got home and thought I'd check this, and this is hand tight. It's supposed to be 130 Newton meters. It's backed off, and like I said, it backed off completely. So we're going to go with the F850 instructions because there's not much info for the 900. I'm lucky enough to have an F850 to compare it with. All the components in here are the same. Forks are obviously different, but all the components we're working on are the same. So we have 2 pinch bolts. They've got to go back to 19 Newton meters. This top cap is 130 Newton meters. And the really strange thing is, on the instructions to redo it, they say leave the first few threads clear, then Loctite the next 6 or 7 threads. But there's nothing on this from factory, which is strange considering this is the F900. So these instructions for the F850 were done before this was built. So you would think that they take their own advice there. And it also says to put some graphite grease just under this lip, so there's no friction on here when you're trying to torque it down, because 130 Newton meters is quite a lot. A specific graphite grease, but I'm just going to use just a normal garage grease. The 2 slotted nuts down on the headstem bearing, the bottom one is 15 Newton meters, the top one is 1 Newton meters, plus rotate it so that the 2 tabs line up and you can get a locking ring in. Then you put the handlebars back on and then you torque that down. So fairly easy process, but nothing for the F900 on the internet. And I was just fortunate enough to have access to an F850 to compare everything to, and they are the same components. So the tools you need is a T40 to get the pinch bolts undone, a 12mm Allen head to undo this center bolt. You need a custom tool, and that will fit the nut underneath. And then I can get a torque wrench on there to torque the 15 Newton meters. You can get a spanner on there, like a C spanner. If you've got a mechanical hand, you know what 15 Newton meters feels like, go for it. But I just want to torque it up to a spec, so we made this up. The T40 with a torque wrench goes low enough for 19 Newton meters for that, and you'll use the same torque wrench to get your 15 Newton meters on this. Some medium strength thread locker and a torque wrench with your 12mm that'll go up to 130 Newton meters to torque that one down. I've already undone these 2 T40 pinch bolts. That was already halfway backed out anyway. You get the bars off, just gently place them to the side, the lock ring. So the top one's only 1 Newton meter, which is only hand tight, and then just go a little bit further to line up so you can get this ring in. If this bike had done a few more Ks, I'd probably re-grease the bearings. And it's got a rubber ring between the 2. So that's how the assembly goes on. Down onto this first one, which is 15 Newton meters. And you can see it was loose. I'll pull the bottom one off and take this cover off just to have a look at the bearing, make sure there's no dirt, or make sure the grease is in good condition. So that's the bottom ring, exact same as the other one. So yeah, that's just the dust cover, and there's your bearing, your top bearing. Looks like it's still got plenty of grease in there and pretty clean, so I'll just put that back on. Torque that down. So 15 Newton meters for this one. Then it's the rubber. So So this one's down to 1 Newton meters, which is just hand tight, and then rotate it until you can line the 2 notches up in the top and lower nut. And then just the locking ring down on top. Handlebars back on. Now, there was some talk about lining up some marks on the forks, but when you torque this center nut down, it's going to pull it down to where it needs to sit anyway, so I wouldn't worry about the forks in a specific spot, as long as they were visually close to where you had them before you pulled it apart. Now I just need to put some thread locker on there and some grease around this lip. Something like that. And you turn the handlebars all the way to the right because it's going to want to go that way when you torque them up anyway. And 130. And then you just double check your triple clamps are about where they were, where they should have been, which mine are. So they're 19 Newton meters on those. And that is job done. That should remove the clunk. And hopefully now with the thread locker in there, it won't come undone again. Anyway, nice simple one. Thanks for watching.